Today we're looking at Revel's Performa4 series of speakers. They include 2 sets of floor standers, 2 sets of bookshelf stand mount speakers, plus a center channel and a powered subwoofer. You could be forgiven if you haven't heard of Revel, but once you listen to their speakers, I don't think you'll forget about them. They aren't flashy and they look unassuming, with a sleek industrial aesthetic. And performance-wise, one of the key goals of their design is for the speaker to get out of the way of the music. And that's a strength that our customers have called out pretty consistently in their reviews. The Performa4 line succeeds the Performa3 line after a more than 10-year run. I had a pair of Performa4 M146 speakers set up in my home to listen to for a week or so. I immediately liked their sonic profile, thick and rich with excellent separation and an expansive soundstage. I noticed the words buttery, creamy, and transparent in some of our customer reviews of Revel models in the step-up Performance BE line, and I think that also helps describe the sound of the M146s. They use a lightweight, rigid, deep ceramic composite dome tweeter that's aligned within a new 7th generation acoustic lens waveguide that helps spread the finely detailed high frequencies throughout your listening area. It also smooths out the treble sound overall without sacrificing clarity. I found that I really noticed this with cymbals. Rides, crashes, and hi-hats all have an open, airy, and enveloping quality. Let's talk about the different models in the Performa4 line. All of them except the subwoofer use that same tweeter assembly. They all also use microceramic composite drivers and a biampable design. The rear-ported cabinets have curved sides and a really seamless and solid-feeling build, and they come in smooth satin black walnut or walnut real wood veneer finishes. The speakers are all rated at 6 ohms and have a relatively low sensitivity, so it's important to drive them with robust amplification to get the best sound. The largest model is the F346 with a 3-way design that uses 3 6.5-inch woofers plus a 6.5-inch mid-range driver. The other floor standard, the F345, has a similar 3-way setup, but using smaller 5.25-inch drivers for the bass and mid-range. For the 2-way bookshelf models, we have the M146 that I already talked about with a 6.5-inch woofer, and we have the M145 with a 5.25-inch woofer. For home theater sound with super clear dialogue, we have the C245 center channel speaker that uses a pair of 5.25-inch woofers surrounding the tweeter assembly. And for rounding out bass and taking the burden of reproducing bass frequencies off your amp, you can get the 750-watt B140 10-inch powered subwoofer. You could put together a really nice Performa4 surround sound system. That's what we did here in our video studio. We set up the larger F346 towers along with the C245 center channel and the M146 stand mounts as rear surrounds, and amplified everything with a Denon X2800H AVR. In my small TV room at home, I've gotten excellent surround sound with a soundbar and some wireless rear speakers, but if my space could fit this kind of setup, the sheer girth of what the Performa4 speakers can deliver would elevate things to a real cinema-like experience. Or you could simply enjoy the pleasures of a high-performance 2-channel system, like what I set up in my home with the M146s. I put them on stands in my living room and powered them with a WIM Viblink integrated amp with a WIM Ultra Streamer. Polyrhythmic elements in Bob Marley and the Wailers' kinky reggae came through with excellent separation, but also cohered musically. The same held when I played Talking Heads' Drugs from Fear of Music, with the spacious, tense sound collage coming together as a sonic whole and climaxing with David Byrne's cascading, angular guitar outro. They also captured not just the individual instruments on Antonio Carlos Jobim's orchestral jazz album Stone Flower, but also the energy and interplay between the musicians. They helped me tune into the in-the-moment linearity of Ron Carter's propulsive bass line on the kinetic and asymmetrical children's games. All in all, the M146s kept delivering an inviting, non-fatiguing presentation that made me want to keep queuing up tracks. If you want speakers that welcome you into your listening room, no matter what the size, the Performa4 line is well worth considering. Well, that wraps up our overview of Revel's Performa4 line. If you have questions about anything we've covered today, or if you just want help figuring out which Performa4 speakers to buy for your stereo or home theater setup, get in touch with us here at Crutchfield today.